Well, well, well. Tyron Smith has officially retired as one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys to not only play for the Dallas Cowboys, but he has retired as one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys to ever play this game. Tyron Smith is going to be absolutely missed. I was one of these people that even when, I was one of these people that when the Cowboys didn't re-sign Tyron Smith, man, I was so torn because I was like, if you could just have Tyron Smith for 8 or 9 games, I mean, I don't know. Tyron was that dominant that if I could just have him for 8 or 9 games, or if we could have just saved him for towards the end for a playoff run, I would have loved to have Tyron Smith. I wish the Cowboys would have never let him go. Never let him go. But again, that is the business of this game, and it is the business of football. But again, man, welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, if you like this stream, as you come in, please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Man, we have a lot of great things coming on this channel in the future. And if you haven't become a channel member yet, please do. We have a very, very simple show today. A very, very simple show. I have a lot of things going on Wednesday, but I still wanted to come and be with the Cowboys Nation, be with Cowboys Nation and the Cowboys family. We have a very, very simple show today. And it is going to be the Tyron Smith press conference today at the Star. And so we're going to listen to that, and I'm going to get right to it. Again, very simple topic, Tyron Smith press conference. And it's funny because if you listen to me yesterday, some of the comments I made about Tyron Smith, they're going to make some of the same or similar comments that I made yesterday. And Jerry Jones blew my mind because he said something that I absolutely said yesterday. And you're going to hear it and you're going to be tripping when you hear him say it too. Because I never thought I'd hear Jerry say it. But you're going to trip when you hear Jerry say what he says. But again, man, we're going to get a quick roll call. And then we're going to get right into this video so we can see if we can get to the end before I got to get up out of here around 5:45 because I got to go do the Lord's work tonight. But again, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Let's get into a quick roll call, and then we're going to get right into the press conference. Appreciate y'all coming in early. Let's get it. All right. The dude, what's up? He said, well. Let's get these Cowboys facts talking machine running. Let's go. Greg Johnson, Cowboys Nation in the crib. Hallelujah. Salute to you too. What's going on? Hallelujah. Gary Bookwalter, what's up? What's up, man? Yes, sir. This man Tyron Smith, absolutely beast mode, man. John Jones, what's up? He said, let's go Cowboy Nation. Big D, what's up? Time for you to cook. Hey, I'm going to try to do what I can. My man Alex, what's going on with you? Big Mace 1984, what up? Good to see you in here. We're going to give it another couple of minutes. And we're not even going to give it a couple of minutes. We're going to give it maybe another minute. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Devontae Washington, what's good? Yes, sir. It's all good. Cowboys for life. Jameson Taylor, hope all is well. What is going on with you? Yeah, this Tyron Smith thing is awesome, man. I absolutely love it. Tyron Smith still got a lot of life. 34 years old. This man's going to be able to go on and do so many things in his life. I mean, because he came into this league so young, man, he's going to be able to do so many things. Brandon Mahoney, what's going on with you? Good to see you. My man, Ty Church, what's up? I'm with you. I still want it. I was thinking about it today, man. I want a Asante Samuel. I would take a Asante Samuel any and all day over Jalen Ramsey. simply because of the upside and definitely because of the pay. But Asante, I think, has a lot, man. The Cowboys, I wish they would go out and get him. Rufus Dodd, what's going on with you? Rico Jones in the crib, what up with you? All right. Now, I don't know if some of y'all have seen this, but we're gonna listen to his speech. Yeah, we're gonna listen to his speech. And it's a very good speech. Very good speech. And there are some things he says in the speech I want to point out. I haven't got a chance to listen to all of it, but the parts that I did hear was absolutely just a magnificent press conference. Brandon Mahoney said, "What's good, Ice Cold Cowboy? What's going on?" Yes, sir, OG. Appreciate you. Lost in Translation Podcast, what's up with you? Salute to you, too. My man, Intelligent Savage, and he is definitely intelligent. What is going on with you? Yes, sir. He says, salute Tyron Smith. Thanks for all the work you put in for these boys. Peace and plenty of continued blessings in his life, my guy. Yeah, he was an absolute beast. Absolute beast. The dude said it's crazy to me how much weight Tyron has lost. The amount of weight from the NFL O-line game to play can't be good for their long-term health. Man, all of them do it seems like. Man, they stop playing and they just slim down, man. Jared, the #1 Dak Prescott fan in Cowboys Nation. I got to give it to him. What's going on? An all-time great Cowboy G. I'm happy for him. Me too. But emotional at the same time. Oh, man. You wait until you hear what Jerry says about the Super Bowl. D Block 88. What up? Good to see you. All right, we about to get this thing started. So let's get to this press conference, man. This thing is absolutely great. Absolutely great. And we have now watched the end of an era. And kind of like, in a sense, to me, the Jason Garrett era. This is kind of the Jason Garrett era. These players that were predominantly under Jason Garrett. And we really can't count. Some people try to count Dak Prescott as one of those people. But Dak Prescott isn't one of those people. Dak Prescott kind of came, I would say, towards the end of Jason Garrett. But again, we're watching the end of an era. I mean, Dak Prescott, he's a quarterback. If he stays healthy, Dak Prescott will play for another 6 or 7 years. But we're watching the end of an era as far as the whole Jason Garrett era. Angie the Rebel Chicks, what's going on? Yes, happy hump day to you too. But again, this is a fantastic press conference by one Tyron Smith, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. A lot of great questions and a lot of great things, and he gave a lot of great answers. So let's get right into it. All right, hold on a second. Make sure some audio here.
What's this for 12 years ago?
Yeah, sure, you're over here. Right there.
There you go. All right. Good. Officially a Cowboy.
Let's start this off. All right. Bear with me. I'm trying to make this not long as possible. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank you all for being here today. Your support and guidance throughout my career have meant more than I could ever put into words. As you all know, I've always tried to avoid giving speeches in front of large groups, so bear with me today. If this was any other offseason, I would be out there training right now, preparing for another year. But today marks a full circle moment for me. I've never imagined that a kid from Southern California who started out cleaning windows, working in janitorial jobs, will be standing here today, retiring after 14 years in the NFL. It's been quite a journey, and you can talk about the end. You can't talk about the ending without first appreciating the beginning. I come from a hardworking family, and I learned early on what you put into life is what you get out. My mom made countless sacrifices just to help me reach this point. I didn't have the chance to play football as early as other kids. I was told I was too big for Pop Warner, but once I reached high school, I met someone who believed in me and opened the door for new possibilities. And that person was Coach B. Duffy. Coach Duff saw something in me others didn't, and I'll always be grateful. He took me to camps all over California, giving me a chance to be seen and ultimately opening the door to one of the greatest colleges, USC. My years at USC will be unforgettable. Being close to home meant I could still do laundry at my mom's house and enjoy cooking and home cooking.
Okay, let me slow it down a little bit, Angie. Actually, when I was listening to it, I was listening to it on 1.5 speed. So if y'all want to hear the regular speed, let me put it at the regular playback speed. I do that sometimes so I can make sure I actually want to hear it all, but I don't want to hear the slow talk. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it at the regular speed.
Mills. Those 3 years flew by, but being a Trojan taught me the meaning of Trojan for life. And of course, there are 2 teams you will never lose to: UCLA and Notre Dame. As college came to a close, I met someone who would change my life, my agent, Joe. I didn't know back then how much you would impact my life. Joe, I knew I wanted you by my side. You guided me through the draft process, through the lockout, and gave me a place to stay. You never just been my agent, you've been family. During the draft process, I visited a lot of teams, but one of the teams stood out, the Dallas Cowboys. The moment I stepped into Dallas, I knew this was home. I actually missed another team's interview because the Cowboys asked me to meet Jerry. As it turns out, I'm glad I missed it because Dallas became home. I still remember my rookie year like it was yesterday. With the lockout, everything felt uncertain. But I walked into camp and found myself surrounded by incredible teammates like Kyle Kozier, Doug Free, Jason Witten, Tony Romo, DeMarcus Ware, Andre Girard, Jeremy Parnell, Des Bryant, Miles Austin, Jason Hatcher, Sean Lee, and so many others. They helped me shape me as a player, and I'm thankful for every one of them. To the coaches who believed in me, Jason Garrett, Hudson Houtt, and Mike Wojcik, thank you. Hudson taught me toughness. Bill Callahan sharpened me as a technician. And Mike Solari helped me bring the love of football back to me after injuries. I've been lucky to learn from the best, including Mike McCarthy. Over the years, the Cowboys became more than just a team. They became family. Guys like Travis, who held us all accountable. Zach, who led the room always and always had wisdom to share. Doug, who taught me toughness and what it meant to be a veteran. Ron Leary, my right-hand man, and the enforcer on our side of the line. LC, Lyle Collins, who became a little brother to me. And Tyler Smith, my new right-hand man, who I know will go down as one of the greats. To Tyler Biadasz, Connor Williams, Connor McGovern, and Terrence Steele, you all embodied the meaning of hard work pays off. I also want to shout out one of my favorite people, Joe Looney, who made the game fun every day. I also want to acknowledge the tight ends. Even though we had different roles, they was always a part of our room. Their presence and teamwork meant a lot to me. And to our backs, Zeke, TP, Darren McFadden, DeMarco Murray, you guys made us feel like we could do anything when you were behind us. I also want to recognize Dak Prescott, one of the best teammates I ever had. Dak cares deeply about everyone in the locker room, and he's more than a teammate, he's a lifelong friend. And I'll always have your back. You always be QB1 to me.
I had to get this in. I think this is pretty amazing that Tyron Smith says this about Dak Prescott. And the reason why I found this to be amazing is that you heard Zach Martin say something similar. And again, understand, both of these linemen played with Tony Romo. And I don't think this is a knock on Tony Romo. I just think this is what they're saying. What they're saying about Dak Prescott is absolutely phenomenal because they're basically telling us what kind of man that he is. They're telling us that Dak Prescott is a phenomenal quarterback, and a lot of people don't understand that. Dak Prescott is one of the greatest leaders that you'll ever see. People do not understand how good this man actually is. And for Zach Martin and now Tyron Smith, And it's almost like he was endorsing Dak Prescott to that team. It's like he's telling the team, hey, this guy cares about you. He cares about you. I mean, it's like he's trying to tell them who they have. Man, you guys have a great guy. You have a great quarterback. You have a great leader of men. I'm just telling you, man, when someone like this says that, man, that is the ultimate endorsement. Ultimate endorsement, man. That's all I can tell you. Ultimate endorsement. It's incredible. I mean, and of course, you know already Dak Prescott is out there in the audience. You know, he's supporting and things of that nature. But, man, and we know they're great friends off the field. If anybody's ever seen the dance video of Dak Prescott, that was at Tyron Smith's wedding. But again, I just thought this was amazing what he said about Dak Prescott, because Zach Martin gave some similar sentiments. Incredible.
Some of my favorite memories will always be grinding training camp with you guys, like Tyrone Crawford, D-Law, and Micah. To all the defensive players, I push for one more rep. Thanks for making me better, even though I ignored you. And to Kyle Wilbur, who always say after practice to put in extra work with me, I appreciate you more than you ever know. And I also want to thank the training staff, Brett, Greg, and Jim, and especially Hanson. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for keeping me healthy and always putting in extra time, even if it meant enduring playing my boombox like I was a DJ during rehab. To Cable and Brian, thank you for always helping me through many moments, both on and off the field. To Scott and Claire in nutrition, you always made sure I had what I needed to perform at my best. To the strength staff, Harold, Kendall, Cedric, and Braylon, I'll miss the workouts, the conversations, the laughs, and the old school music battles. Wojcik started with our 100 grand bets on song trivia, and we kept the tradition alive even after he retired. I look forward to continuing our annual crawfish boils too. To the equipment staff, Bucky, Dylan, and Mike, thank you for putting up with me on all the gear requests, all the adjustments, and for helping me hold this body together through the years. None of this would have been possible without my family. Mom, I'm blessed to have you here today. I can't express how much you've done for me. You'll always be my superhero, and it's no coincidence we share the same birthday. To my late Uncle Jerome, who followed my football career and was like a father figure to me, I know you're looking down today and so proud. To my children, Jackson, Still, 7, and my little junior TJ, you have my heart always. And to my wife, Holly, thank you for holding it all together, for putting up with me with my goofiness, my love for anime and gaming, and for being my rock through it all. I love you more than words can ever say. To Jerry Jones and the entire Jones family, thank you for believing in me, supporting me through the ups and downs, personally and professionally, and for taking a chance on me 14 years ago. While I regret never winning a Super Bowl, I feel like I already won with the family I've built, both on and off the field. To Cowboy Nation, thank you for embracing me, supporting me, and making these 14 years unforgettable. I'm excited for the next chapter and spending more time with my family and watching my kids grow up. But for now, it's time to go. I got kids to wrestle, and I'm a nighttime baby chef. Thank you.
We'll go ahead before we have you stand up and take questions, but I really could go on a long time about this. Jason Garrett, appreciate very much. It's very much in the spirit of what he meant to us, both on and off the field, for you to be here. We appreciate you being here today. and you ex-players that played with him, we do appreciate you being here. I can really say that no player, as a matter of fact, I think I go through staffs and I go through really people that aren't on staff, but close-in people with the Cowboys. Have I ever been more impressed with him both on and off the field? He's the youngest player I think that we've certainly had as a starter, and he was the youngest player in the NFL, I believe my facts are correct, for 2 years in a row, to show you how young he was when he came out. He came out with some outstanding tackles or offensive linemen that were outstanding in character. They were Rhodes Scholars, and one was unbelievably accomplished in his off-the-field background when he entered the NFL draft. But Tyron, with his mom and his family, Tyron would, after school, go clean buildings. Now, there's nothing wrong with that job. It's just that there's a little bit of funny feeling to it, but you usually clean buildings when everybody's gone, so that means it's after hours. And figuratively speaking, you literally go in and they lock the door behind you and you sit there and clean most of the night. Tyron's story, and you could tell it when you visited with him early when he was coming out in the draft, of his pride, and his pride from his parental supervision of teaching him work ethic and making him feel accomplished and a part of the team, although he was that young coming out. I thought he had, and many others did too, he had the highest character grade in the whole draft because of what he had done. His own coaches would make up excuses so that he might be not have to go work in the buildings at night. And he started that at a tremendous young age. I will tell you right now, without fail, every move he made in his career, certainly with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'll dare say with the Jets as well, reflected that work ethic, along with his tremendous skill. And at a time in his life, right after he became in the NFL, his agent, and I'm not exactly known as somebody that'll get up here and brag about agents, am I? But his agent, Joe Panos, with him at a time in his life when he was working through the nuances of really impressive, serious.
D-Block, I know you said shut up, Jerry, but you got to hear this part right here, man. What Jerry is about to say right here is a megaton bomb, and it is as much as Jerry looking in the mirror at himself as you're ever going to hear. Listen to what he says. You want to hear this.
Family, balance, where you are in the big picture. And I don't know that I've ever seen anybody, and I'm not calling it out as an agent, an attorney, a friend. I've never seen anybody do more and get involved more to help him than you did as his friend and agent. And I know why he spent the time giving you the accolades. But every step of the way, the guy that came out the most impressive, whether it was on the field or off the field, it was always Tyron. And he worked through those problems at that time, and I knew right then and there he was going to be an exception. There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. There's no doubt, and just a couple of months ago we were sitting here unbelievably with another player that will be there in the Hall of Fame. We won't have a player ever with the Dallas Cowboys that I can predict this, that shares better credentials on how they came, how they worked, how they used their background to work, and what they accomplished and meant to the team. It is a tragedy that we didn't get a Super Bowl.
Did you catch that D-Block 88? Y'all had to hear that. Y'all might not remember, but I said the same thing when I talked about this yesterday. I said it was a tragedy that the Cowboys did not win a Super Bowl with a player of this caliber. Jerry Jones just admitted it. Just admitted it. When you have a player like this, and as long as he played, it is an absolute travesty to have a player that talented and not win a Super Bowl. And I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. It wasn't a Tony Romo problem. It's not a Dak Prescott problem. Jerry is reflecting upon himself in some respects, because as much as we had Frederick, Martin, Tyron Smith, it was like, but we still didn't have the players in between them. We didn't have the players. We talk about the Dez Bryants. We talk about the Jason Wittens. We talk about so many of these things. We never put the defenses in front of Tony Romo. We didn't. We never put the defenses. We never put one of those New York Giant caliber defenses that ran through the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas and went on to beat the New England Patriots not only in one Super Bowl, but in 2 Super Bowls. We have failed to put these defenses in front of Dak Prescott like the Philadelphia Eagles had, that ran roughshod over everybody this year. We have failed to do that. We have been able to put together some absolute great players like Tyron Smith, like Zach Martin, like DeMarcus Ware. You even think about some of these great players like Sean Lee. Sean Lee was a great player, but Sean Lee couldn't stay healthy. And so when you think about how top heavy we've been with some of the greatest players that have ever played this game, the problem with being top heavy, ask the Los Angeles Lakers over the last few years. It's great when you're top heavy, because when your team is healthy, they're winning. When your team is playing mediocre talent or average talent, they're winning. But when you begin to play playoff level, championship level teams who are well-rounded, then they begin to exploit holes inside of your team, no matter how many of these quote-unquote great players that you have. Jerry hit it right on the head. I said the same thing yesterday. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And this is one of the reasons why I just love what the Cowboys are doing, because they're doing something they haven't done in years. People are mad. Some people are mad again. I said it yesterday. They're mad about what the Cowboys have done in free agency. You're mad because they didn't get the players that you want. That's number one. You're mad because you're looking at these players in the wrong way. You're thinking that the Cowboys are out here thinking that in the wheeling and the dealing they're doing and some of the chances they're taking on first-round players, you're thinking that the Cowboys are thinking that they're getting quote-unquote impact players from the perspective of these players are going to make us better than everyone else in the NFL, or they're the best players in those positions in the NFL. That's not what they're doing. They're doing something that is something they have not done in years. Man, you got to have depth on the team to win. You got to have depth, and you got to not just have average guys on your team and some of your depth. You got to upgrade some of that depth. And a lot of the depth the Cowboys have gotten is better than some of the players they replaced or let go, because they're trying to avoid this same thing. And I think the main player they're trying to make sure this doesn't happen to is Dak Prescott. They're trying to make sure this doesn't happen to Dak Prescott. They're trying to make sure this doesn't happen to CeeDee Lamb. It doesn't happen to Micah Parsons. It doesn't happen to Oso Digizua, Deron Bland. It doesn't happen to Trayvon Diggs if he hangs around. You want to give those types of players the greatest or the best opportunity that you can to win a Super Bowl. Again, it's a travesty Tyron Smith didn't win one. And I wish the Cowboys hadn't let him go, but it's the business of football. I understand what was happening. Tyron Smith knew he was towards the end of his career. He wanted to go ahead and get that last paycheck, and the Cowboys were not going to give it to him. I understand all of that stuff, but I wish he would have stayed with the Cowboys. But again, this is the most transparent, or one of the most transparent statements that Jerry Jones has ever said. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, and he's a part of the reason. Boy, I thought that was powerful. That's why D-Block, I said, nah, you can't shut him up. You got to hear him say that part, D-Block. You got to hear him say that part. That right there, man, that's reflection. That's self-reflection. Appreciate you, Jerry. You got to say it for what it is. It's a tragedy.
With you sitting out there at that left tackle and sitting there with many of the other players that you've mentioned here today. But that doesn't take away from the fact of what you've accomplished in the NFL, Tyron, and that doesn't take away from the respect that you see in this room. It is an honor to have you having been and say that you were a Dallas Cowboy in your career. And I want to be the first one to shake your hand when you go in that NFL Hall of Fame. Now I think we'll open it up to questions.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
How difficult was this decision to retire? Because I know you love this game a lot.
After this past year and then over the years of injuries and things like that, it just kind of felt like it was the right time to hang it up. And I don't want to be that guy down the line to where I'm struggling down the line, and I want to be healthy for my kids and be able to rush around my kids. I got some big kids now, and they ain't the normal size, so you got to be in shape for them. So the decision came, and it came easy. And I realized how much I put into this NFL, and I felt proud of what I did. So,
Clarence Hill, All City, Dallas, DLLS. Congratulations, Tyron. This question is for Jerry, and I know you don't make pronouncements. You're not wanting to get ahead of yourself with pronouncements, but you've already put him in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Zach's going to the Hall of Fame. We know that, right? You're already in the Hall of Fame. When will you put he and Zach in the Ring of Honor?
Well, again, there is no question they're going in the Ring of Honor. Let me be real clear about that. Right. And I must have missed that in my elaborate remarks. But without a question, we've never had a player play for the Dallas Cowboys that represents us, that played on and off the field the way that he's been a part of this team. And yes, he'll be going in the Ring of Honor.
Tyron, Todd Archer with ESPN. As you've made this decision, have any
boy, y'all are killing me in this chat again today. Y'all killing me in this chat. Almost. Hallelujah said homeboy's 108 years old. He has as many years alive as us. He said, boy, y'all killing me in this chat today. Boy, y'all are killing me in this chat today. D-Block, he said, G, don't do me like that, bro. He's not really trying to trick the cool. D-Block, hey, man. Hey, I'm telling you, hey, I got to tell you, man, at least he is admitting the truth. I just say this, he just admitting the truth, man. He is. He can't get around it. What's up, Miss Matrix? Good to see you. Good to see you. But hey, he can't help. He got to tell the truth on this one, man. He do. He got to tell the truth, man. It's a tragedy, and it's and a big part of it is him. Miss Matrix, I agree with you. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. My man Poobie D got my back. He said, Jerry. He said, Jerry, in his early thousands. Boy, y'all killing me tonight, boy. Woo, y'all killing me, boy. Boy, y'all, man, I'm telling you, boy. Boy, I'm telling you, man, I've watched some live streams, boy. Y'all got to be one of the best chats ever, boy. Y'all be killing me on a daily basis. I appreciate it. Man, there's nothing but Cowboys love, boy. I appreciate it, man. What's going on? Katharina Kids, what's going on with you? Good to see you. What's going on, Sly Romo? He said if Dallas had a proper GM, we wouldn't be talking about it. It's a shame Tyron never played in the Super Bowl. You're right. You're right. I can't argue. You're absolutely right. And the problem is he'll never give it up. Now, I think we may have something to look forward to. We'll see how it turns out. But stop it. It just said translate to us. Woo, boy, y'all killing me today. Boy, I'm losing my train of thought, man. But again, maybe things will be different. Maybe things will be different under Steven. You know, Steven doesn't seem like he wants the kind of limelight that Jerry wants. So maybe it'll be different under Steven. Because it looks like they're making a transition for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised I really wouldn't be surprised if Steven is a lot different and Will McClay, maybe he becomes a real GM. Maybe he becomes a real GM. You know, I mean, he's getting paid like one pretty much, but yeah, I do think that we need somebody that I do think we need a full-time GM. Jared said Jerry on that gas can. Boy, stop. Cause I knew a dude when I was a kid used to do that gasoline, boy. That gas mess, boy. Jerry on that, man. He is messed up. America first. What's going on with you? What's going on? But let's hear some more of this thing what Jerry said, boy. Y'all killing me tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. Intelligent Savage, he laughing too. He said, really? Thousands? Man, boy, y'all killing me. Booba T. Oh, boy, y'all killing me, man.
Moments on the field come back to you that stand out to you, things that you've done, things that you've accomplished on the field come back to you?
You know, for me, it's most of just being with my guys, the guys on the team that, you know, we build relationships over time. And, you know, back in 14, we had a game. It was a away game in the Giants, and for how that game ended, it just showed what an offensive line is capable of. And that was just everybody being a part of it and everybody having a piece of it, but everybody did their job to win that game. And that, over the years, just stuck with me. And that's everybody grinding together from the beginning until it gets to that point. So,
Tyron, John Machota with The Athletic. What do you think that you'll miss most, you know, when you're doing the family thing and maybe you're watching a game on Sunday? What do you think's the part of the game you'll miss the most? I
would just say the off-season training and all the bonding that we always did and all the trips and the training camp and all that things like that. And mostly anything, I just missed my guys. Missed my guys and missed the coaches, missed all the relationships. But obviously we'll continue that on best as possible. And that's pretty much it, yeah.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Obviously a rich tradition of offensive linemen with this franchise. You're just the next piece of what that has been throughout this franchise's history. To the guys that are in this room right now still playing for this team, probably a transition period, I guess you could say, with the offensive line. What would you have to say to them to be the next part of that lineage?
Honestly, they're doing everything they're supposed to do right now. I'll just say more than anything, they know that, you know, this part of the year is time to grind and stay together and take for what the last year was and move on and make the corrections and get better as a group. And I'm pretty sure they're doing that already.
Hey, Tyron, Joe Hoyt, All City, Dallas. You know, you talked about all the players you played with, including Zach Martin. That's a guy who just retired. You were here for that too. What was it like just having a guy like Zach Martin in that offensive line room and being able to work with him for all the years you guys did?
You know, for the group that we had, it was unbelievable. And you can't beat the group that we had. We felt like we was on top of the world and unstoppable, and there's no better feeling than that. And we felt like we couldn't be touched. And that's a credit to all of us putting all the work in. And, you know, I wouldn't change that for anything.
Hey, Tyron. Saad Youssef, The Athletic. We heard in recent years Micah talking about going against you in training camp in Oxnard. I'm curious from your perspective, who are some defenders that stand out to you that have been your teammates that you went against in Oxnard, all those practices?
I was probably say that man that's sitting in the back over there, D. Ware, taught me a lot. Taught me that, you know, you're not the biggest man on the field or the strongest man on the field, and it comes down to technique. And he taught me a lot. And it was games, you know, early on that I, you know, struggled with, and he pulled me to the side and worked with me and helped me be to who I am today as far as a player. And I still owe the credit to that man for teaching me how to shave my head.
Newy Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. Saad asked my question there.
DeMarcus Ware, another player that is a tragedy that he didn't get his Super Bowl in Dallas. DeMarcus Ware is an absolute beast, another victim of the business of football, but another guy that I wish would have got that Super Bowl in Dallas. They should have got one in Dallas. And it's another one of these issues where I'm telling y'all, so many people be pointing to Romo and Dak Prescott, but this isn't a Tony Romo and Dak Prescott thing, guys. I mean, this has been 30 years. I mean, and this has been 30-something years. 30 years to where the moment Jerry got rid of Jimmy, his ability to build teams went downhill. This just went downhill. And so, we just see these guys like them, and there are other players that have went away from the Cowboys and gotten Super Bowls. And, man, DeMarcus Ware is another one. You wish he could have got one here. But it's great that, he talks about how DeMarcus Ware helped teach him and things of that nature. So, man, that's fantastic. Just all-around great players.
But what is your identity now that you're leaving the NFL? Have you figured out the things that you want to do as a man? I know you talked about being a father, but just the identity, because for so long, you're a Tyron Smith NFL player.
Well, for now, it's just me being a family man and being the best father and husband I could be right now. And anything else that goes after that will come. But that's my main focus right now, moving forward.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Tyron, that left tackle quarterback relationship, always so important. You said Dak is your QB1 forever, and he kind of came along in the middle of your career. What is it about him and y'all's relationship that really stands out the way it does?
I just feel like over the years we have built a strong relationship, and I feel like as friends and as teammates, I feel like we have accomplished so much. And as for what we accomplished, I just never had that feeling before. And then for what everybody put into it, we just had fun. We made the game fun, and it had to be something that was difficult to just go out there and play and enjoy the game. And that's what our group just had.
Man, let me tell you, man, I'm just telling y'all, this guy's telling us some things about the character of Dak Prescott. He's telling us what kind of guy this is, man. We've already heard Tyler Guyton talking about the command of the huddle. We've heard people like Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning and talking about how Dak Prescott, how he reads and surveys the field, the stuff that he's doing pre-snap. I mean, I keep telling people, man, people do not understand. Folk who truly understand football, looking at the tape, looking at people around Dak Prescott and how everyone is performing, not just him. Man, when you look at it, man, a lot of this stuff isn't Dak Prescott's fault. Doesn't mean that some of it isn't. But a lot of this stuff isn't Dak Prescott's fault. And I do think where Dak Prescott starts, what he is at fault for is that Dak will start pressing at times or forcing at times, just like any other quarterback does, when they don't have the adequate pieces around them. It's either, you think about Romo. We can take this back to Romo. It was either Dez Bryant or who else for Romo. I mean, when you're talking about big plays, it was Dez Bryant or bust. Now we got Dak Prescott, is CeeDee Lamb or bust? And even with Tony Romo, somebody says, well, Dak Prescott has had Ezekiel Elliott. Did you watch DeMarco Murray? DeMarco Murray was an absolute monster before Zeke came up in here. Almost had a 2,000-yard season. Had a crucial fumble in the Green Bay game in the playoffs. It's kind of ironic that both Dak and Romo got beat in the playoffs by Green Bay. Dak, though, twice by the Green Bay Packers. But at the same time, when you think about those teams, you start thinking about some of the same similar things. The defense, in some of those games. And we had one game we absolutely love talking about, the San Francisco 49er game. What was it, the 23-16 game or 23-17 or whatever? I think it was 23-16 or something like that. And we talk about those types of games. But again, I know we've had some players. I'm not disagreeing with anyone who's saying we've had players. But there's a difference in good teams and championship teams. And the problem is, if you're going to build a championship team, you got to build a championship defense. And I think this is one of the things the Cowboys are trying to accomplish now over the next couple of years. Gee, who is this guy named Andre Ware that Steven spoke of? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see what we're talking about. Catherine in the Kiss, she said 100% G. Ware should have a ring as well as Bryant and Romo. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Those teams are always top heavy. Oh, wait a minute. Andre Ware. Did I say Andre Ware? If it was me, of course, you know I meant DeMarcus Ware. Maybe I missed it if it wasn't me. Maybe I missed it. But again, I mean, some of this stuff, if we think, you think about it in the grand scheme of things, some of this stuff, these tragedies that we're talking about, these players not winning Super Bowls, it's Jerry.
Ed Werder, WFA. Congratulations, Tyron. Jerry and Steven, I believe you had not drafted an offensive lineman in the first round since 1981 when you took Tyron. What was that scouting process like, and how difficult was it to commit to a 20-year-old first-round draft choice on the offensive line?
Steve?
Well, I think, one of the things about left tackles, when you find them, you keep them. And, of course, we had 2-A for most of Jerry and I's tenure here when we drafted Tyron. And we knew we needed to, come up with a big-time player. That's why Jerry has such good recollection of the other 3 tackles that were in the draft. But, the big thing was, obviously he was a young guy, but yet a dominant player. And, I also remember he played a lot at right tackle at USC, and there's a little question, can he be the left tackle, but not a big one. It was small. And, of course, Hudson was quick to say he'll be just fine at left tackle. So, no. And then, of course, his athletic ability, you look at him on the combine picture, and he sure doesn't look like an offensive lineman. I mean, he was cut like this. And, but no, he was the obvious choice for us. Hudson was laying in front of the train for him. Jason was fired up about it, and it was an obvious choice for us.
Jason, I agree. I can remember Jason had a real affinity for changing our pattern of not drafting that high, using that high draft pick. We usually thought it was going to be a
Angie said, hit that like button. She said, y'all doing G wrong with not hitting those likes. I agree with you. Hit that like button. Y'all, I agree with my girl Angie. For sure. All right, well, let's keep going. We almost at the end.
A pressure player, a corner of that nature. And he had such a promise. And then his character was work, and he was so proud of it. As young as he was, when we'd sit down and visit with him, he was just so proud of how he had worked with his family. And his mother and dad were entrepreneurs; they had their own business, and he just was so proud in that. You could tell that that had a good chance to transfer over to the team concept. And let me tell you, in the offensive line, you gotta not only have the competes out there one-on-one, but it is a we thing, and you got to have that really a lot of pride in a job accomplished by all, and that's the entire offensive line as a group. To do that and yet have the kind of skill level and, if you will, the determination and fit in, it changed our way of thinking about taking that number 1 pick and using it on an offensive lineman, and he did that.
Michelle Montaigne, WFAA. Tyron, can you walk us through the conversation with Jerry about signing the 1-day contract and getting to retire at Cowboy?
That conversation was pretty easy. I think we started talking a little bit about it before Zach retired, and kind of just came full circle when when Zach's retirement came. Kind of pulled to the side and started talking about it, and there was no question I was going to come here and retire as a Cowboy.
Well, I know from my perspective,
I want y'all to keep this in mind too. Jerry and Tyron Smith have an incredible relationship. Very personal relationship. And I'm going to tell you something about Jerry Jones. And I know a lot of us, we joke around and, say things about Jerry Jones. But I'll tell you about Jerry Jones. I'll just tell you about Jerry Jones from my perspective. I don't think he's a good GM. I think he's an okay GM. I think what is stopping Jerry from being a good to great GM, or stopping him from being a great GM per se, is that he doesn't have the same pressure that other GMs have. If Jerry goes out here and blows the draft, he still got his job. He still got his job. If they go and blow the draft, Stephen Jones still has his job. There's no pressure. And this is one of the reasons why they should probably in the future, or Stephen in the future, should look at getting a GM, because you want someone else to put the blame on so that when something doesn't go right, you can fire him. This has been one of the biggest knocks on Jerry Jones. But let me say this part. Contrary, or unlike some, the person Jerry Jones, now I don't know him personally, but when I think about some of the relationships that Jerry has with some of these players, man, it's incredible. Jerry has really helped some of these players off the field. He really has. He really has. Jerry has taken some of these players up under his wing, and man, he's done some great things for some players. And Tyron Smith, I mean, they have they have a family relationship, man. They really do. So what you're watching between Tyron and Jerry and Steven, don't get it twisted. This is genuine love for one another. Genuine love for one another. They absolutely love Tyron Smith and his family. And I still don't think they should have let him go, but I think it was more of a business decision with Tyron Smith. He wanted more money, and the Cowboys just wasn't willing to do it. But I'm telling you, man, what you're watching with them, it is genuine. I'm telling you.
It was like losing a family member when he went to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. And I couldn't talk to him. I couldn't have a small talk. And we'd had some great times in his career about things that you could talk personal about. And that's what I've spent a lot of time today talking about, how admirably he handled that as a man. And yeah, it was a man when he was 23 and 24 and 25 years old. And Joe remembers exactly what the issues were and what he was at that time. Well, I really had a tough time picking up that phone when he left us. And so it was with great pleasure that I put that old Jones on this contract today that will be the last one he signs in the NFL.
Tyron, Jeff Kolb with Fox 4. Congratulations once again. Two-part question. First, going off of what Jerry's just saying about how hard it was when you left, how hard was it for you?
It was very difficult decision for me. It wasn't just I was leaving home and leaving my guys here. It was, moving my family and everything over there. But, when I left, it was just another experience for me, but this was always going to just be home.
And then part two, you said that you were told you were too big for Pop Warner. What do you remember about that?
For us, we were working in janitorial business, and I saw, my other siblings playing.
Angie, Stephen Jones be murdering them names. No? He be murdering them names, but I think I've heard Stephen do this before where he just don't remember names and stuff. So he murders those names, man.
Sports, and I always wanted to play football. And we finally, went to this park and tried to sign up for Pop Warner football. Stepped on the scale, and the guy said, "You're too big for your age group." And so I kind of just stepped back. It is what it is. I'll just continue grinding, working, and until I get my opportunity in high school. So that's pretty much how it went.
Tyron, you talked about Tyler Smith earlier. What makes him, in your mind, the next one to follow you, Zach, Travis, those guys?
I feel like Tyler has came in and set the standard that he wants to be great when he first got here, and he has just increasing potential every year. And
okay, guys, I got to go back and look I guess the picture I saw of Tyler Smith, he had short hair. But this guy right here is Tyler Smith, isn't he? On the right. The guy that looks like he's like ready to like jump on stage and like look like he about to jump on stage and beat Tyron Smith down. That's Tyler Smith, right? I mean, I'm like, this dude is looking like he ready to put. Man, this dude looking like he ready to get on the field. Man, this dude looking like somebody did something to him out there, man. So I'm thinking this is Tyler Smith on. I'm sure it's Tyler Smith, but man, look how this dude looking.
It's just his work ethic and what he puts into this game, and
this dude looking like, man, woo.
How dominant he is on the field. It just shows every year that he is getting better, and he has potential to be, like I said, one of the greats. And I just can't wait to see that show.
I do think that Tyler Smith is going to be he's going to be a great left tackle for the Cowboys. I really think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones should be trying to get this dude signed now. I don't understand why they wait. I would be trying to get this dude signed right now because this dude's going to have a breakout year. I agree. This dude gonna have a breakout year, man, and we're gonna be paying this dude too. Yeah, I agree with what he's saying about Ty Smith.
And late in your career, we always say you're a veteran. You're getting up there in age. All of a sudden today, you're young again. What's that like?
Might feel younger than mine, but the body's still old.
It's good.
Tyron, what does it mean to you when you see your ex-teammates here? Dak is here, Micah and Ballot and those guys.
And this just means a lot, and it's hard to put everything into words of how it means to me for them to be here. I love their support, and I appreciate them being here. And
straight Steven.
Yeah, their family are my brothers, and it's just a relationship for life.
Tyron, you signed a unique 8-year contract in 2014. Just how did you know that this is just long-term where you wanted to be? You don't really see 8-year contracts get signed super often.
Well, playing here.
Boy, Moses 32-12, bro, you gonna have to stop. And the funny thing is, man, the funny thing is, I mean, you actually, now that you done put that image in my head, man, it's actually true. He looks like one of them dudes from the Muppets up in the from the balcony. He does, man. Boy, you up in here. Boy, y'all got to be rolling up in here. Man, you straight, you right on it, man. Angie, you got to be laughing because Steven does this on the regular with these names. He does this on the regular with these names. It's like he don't remember either the first or the last name. You think he's older than Jerry.
Here before I signed that contract, I already knew that this was going to be home, and I wanted to do whatever it took to be here for a long period of time. And how everything went, but come back here and still sign a contract to be back home. But it's just the way how things goes. But kind of losing a little bit. But I wish I could have played here a little bit longer. Wish I could have played till I was 40. But that's not how things go. You got to listen to your body and move on from there.
Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. Tyron, when looking back on your career in the NFL, what are some of those teaching points you can pull from it to teach your own kids?
I would just say, like I said in my speech, is more of the hard work you put into life is what you're going to get out of it. And no matter what you want to do, you want to play ball like I did, or you want to do anything else, you can do whatever. I've been blessed to give my kids the opportunity to do whatever they want to do in life. And these two have helped me create that. And so, yeah.
Tyron, we've talked about the battles you had with DeMarcus Ware and how that helped you. And you did the same thing with Micah. Can you just talk about going against both those guys? And why is that important, for you to take Micah under his wing and teach him and like Ware did you to take you under your wing and kind of his wing and teach you?
Because early on, D. Ware approached me and it helped me along. I just understood what it meant it took all of us. And so if anything I could help any other teammate, bring them along or help them out any kind of thing that nobody else is telling them, just to help us win or help that player be just a better person or better player, I'll give them that advice. And like this game, it's not just one person here and there. It takes all of us to win this game.
Okay, we'll have a little photo op presentation here.
That's it. Great interview. Man, this dude here, this dude is, the Bible says that in the flood, everything was killed except for 8 people, but it says after the flood, the Nephilim was still on the earth. I think this dude is a descendant of the Nephilims in the Bible, man. This dude is not normal, man. I mean, this dude is not normal. A dude to be that large of a human being and to be ripped like he is, it is insanity. And this is what I tell people sometimes, sometimes people think things boil down to people being in the weight room and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that he's not in the weight room or wasn't, because I believe he was. But man, you better understand too, there is a such thing called genetics. There are just some people, they are genetic freaks. There's nothing that can explain it. They're just a genetic freak. And this dude, Tyron Smith, is an absolute genetic freak. He was, and he is. Total genetic freak. And again, man, Savage, Intelligent Savage, he says that when, I think he uses the terminology like when you have the freakiest athlete, the freakiest athlete, or however he puts it, man, those are the kind of guys you take. That was Tyron Smith. That dude is a freak of nature. Freak of nature, man. When you're talking about power, strength, ability, skill, man, this dude was a freak of nature. And let me tell you something that I really appreciate about him. Let me tell you what I really appreciate about him. Boy, I know this dude Moses done went off the rails with that one. He said the bump is on the balcony. Boy, this man done went off. Man, he went off the rails on that one. But hey man, this dude, Tyron Smith, man, genetic freak. No other way to put it. And again, it's a crying shame. It's a tragedy that he didn't get a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. And the one thing I appreciate about him and Zach Martin, I'm telling y'all, Zach Martin could have still played. Zach Martin, there is no doubt in my mind, Zach Martin could have still played. But Zach Martin decided, unlike sometimes what you see with boxers, Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, it is absolutely amazing to me, and you have to applaud it. They didn't go out like Willie Foo-Foo. They didn't go out like that. They're not going out like some of these players who, I guess they love the game in a sense. They also want to just keep getting every paycheck that they can. And we watched them play to the point to where not only have they just fell off a cliff performance-wise, they're going from team to team, being a backup, maybe playing 3 or 4 games. Then they get injury riddled, and then it's just one team to another team to another team, and you're just looking at them going, man, why don't they just retire? Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is 34 years old. Tyron Smith could not play a full season because he didn't play a full season towards the end. I'm probably for the last 6 to 8 years. But I do believe Tyron Smith could have played probably 8 games. Tyron Smith could have easily gave you 8 games. And if you mess around and get Tyron Smith in a playoff run, he could probably go through the whole playoff run with you. I believe Zach Martin could have still played. I believe that Zach Martin could have still played. He didn't want to. Those guys wanted to get out. They wanted to get out with their health. They wanted to get out fully functional. They wanted to get out so that they can start focusing on their family. Tyron Smith, even though he's been in this league for 14 years, this dude is 34 years of age. Man, he got his whole life ahead of him. Whole life ahead of him. And because he was a great Dallas Cowboy, Tyron Smith is never going to be poor. He's never going to be poor. He's always going to be able to make money off of the name Tyron Smith, left tackle, Dallas Cowboys. Even DeMarcus Ware, you think about DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware went somewhere else and won a Super Bowl. But people don't know DeMarcus Ware, even though they know he won a Super Bowl somewhere else. DeMarcus Ware is known as a Dallas Cowboy. That's what he's known as. But again, great player once again. Man, let me tell you, I was so mad when this dude left the Cowboys. And I just don't think he should have ever went anywhere else and played. But it is what it is. It's the business of football. You can tell Tyron never wanted to leave Dallas, but he understood it's a numbers game. It's a money game too. So sometimes you got to go somewhere else and get that check if that's what you want. But again, he's back home and he retired a Dallas Cowboy. Again, salute to that man, Tyron Smith. My big takeaways from this interview. 1, Tyron Smith, great player, great guy. 2, his relationship with the Joneses, but Jerry absolutely admitting that it is a tragedy that they never won a Super Bowl with one Tyron Smith. 3, Dak Prescott. And that's probably number 1 for me. Boy, what he said about Dak Prescott. That was an endorsement to that team. It's like he's telling that team, hey, man, embrace this guy. You need to understand what he is. He's a leader of men. He cares about you on and off the field. He wants to win. I don't know what better endorsement you can get from a Hall of Famer. He played with, he played with, I think it was a short stint with Aaron Rodgers, but he played with Tony Romo, and he says Dak will always be QB1. I just told you. And again, let's not look at that as a knock on Tony Romo. That's just not how Tony Romo was built. It's not, it just is what it is. It's not how Tony Romo was built. That is not the kind of guy Tony Romo was. Tony Romo, a lot of people do not understand and do not give Tony Romo credit. If Tony Romo would have been one of those players that really focused on his body, taking care of his body, staying in the ultimate shape, this dude, Tony Romo, was a natural athlete. This dude could play football. This dude could play basketball. And what he had a passion for was golf. And so for Tony Romo off the field, if he wasn't playing football, man, he's off playing golf. He's not really trying to bond with the team like that. He's not trying to be necessarily the first one in. Now, after he got that contract, it was strange to me. We started hearing stuff like Tony Romo, first one in, first one out. Tony Romo wearing his hat around forward, don't want to wear the hats backwards, and all this old stuff that they tell you about maturity. But again, that just wasn't Tony Romo. And it's not a knock on Tony Romo. It just wasn't him. Tony Romo was still a great quarterback for the Cowboys. That just wasn't him. But Dak Prescott is different. Dak Prescott is not, to me, as the natural athlete per se that Tony Romo was. I'm just telling y'all, man, a lot of folk don't understand this dude Tony was talented. This dude Tony was a very talented athlete. And I think because he was so talented he was such a naturally talented athlete, he didn't put a lot into the body. He didn't put a lot into his health and stuff like that. I can remember that people were calling Tony Romo pot belly. They were talking about he was out of shape and blah, blah, blah. But Tony Romo, very natural athlete, natural thrower of the ball. There were a lot of things that he did naturally, but it kind of got him in the end. It did. It got him in the end because of him not really taking care of that body the way that he should have. But Dak Prescott is a lot different than him. Dak Prescott has worked to be what he is. And it doesn't mean that Dak wasn't a great athlete, because to be on this level, you do have to be a very good or a great athlete. But when I'm talking about an athlete, there are certain guys, they're just natural at stuff. Man, y'all would be shocked, and some of you wouldn't, at how good some of these football players are, that they could have actually played basketball. They were those types of athletes. They didn't just play the sports. They were good and great at these other sports. Just natural athletes. Natural athletes. They could play football, basketball, run track, play lacrosse if you wanted them to. I mean, they could literally play all the sports. They came so natural to them. But Dak Prescott has really worked hard. I mean, when you look at Dak Prescott early on versus Dak Prescott now, they look like two different people. They literally look like two different people almost. They look like the cousins of each other, because Dak Prescott has worked so hard at his body, worked so hard at his craft, and all of those different things. And I'm telling you, man, he gave Dak Prescott the ultimate praise. Ultimate praise. And I really hope this team really starts to embrace one Dak Prescott. I really do. This team is going to have to not only rally around Dak Prescott, this team is going to have to rally together if this team is once and for all going to win a Super Bowl. And Jerry is going to, him and Steven are going to have to keep putting these players around them so that we don't have to get to the end of Dak Prescott's career, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, also Diggy Zua, some of these other people. Man, we don't have to get to the end of these people's careers talking about it's a shame they didn't win a Super Bowl. No, let's get one. No, let's get one. Let's get one. And it's right there. This is going to be the best chance the Cowboys have had since 2016. Over the next 3 to 4 years is going to be the best opportunity that we've ever seen the Cowboys winning a championship, because they've already again started doing some of the right things that we all ought to be appreciating. Man, I'm just telling you, I don't understand people with this whole offseason hate stuff. I'm sorry. This stuff with the Cowboys has done in the offseason has been great to me. It's been great to me. It's not, and we can agree, maybe it's not what it could have been. But it's also not what it has been. And since it is not what it has been, I'll take what it is right now. If they just go in this draft, and if they can hit, and for me, I really do think, and we're going to start talking about this. Matter of fact, we're going to do Cowboys After Dark tonight. So for all you people who stay up late, once I get back from Bible study tonight and get settled in, we're going to do Cowboys After Dark tonight. Because as we really get focused in on this draft, we're a week away from the draft now. The Cowboys don't have to hit. They don't have to hit necessarily on every draft pick. But where they have to hit, 1 and 2, they have to hit. You cannot be at number 12 and don't hit. You got to hit, because you're not getting, and I talked about it last night. Steven said the Cowboys could trade back. And I like that. But I'll tell you something else but the other side of me says this. Maybe you shouldn't trade back. Maybe you shouldn't trade back. If you're at 12, Genty isn't there. Ted McMillan isn't there. Maybe you just, man, you know what? Best player available. I know we don't want to hear it. I know we don't want to hear it. But maybe you go best player available. Maybe you do. What's the kid's name? Kelvin Banks Jr. If he's the best player available, because Shedeur Sanders, you're not getting him. Maybe you're getting him. Maybe you say, hey, man, best player available. Best player available. We'll go in the second round. We'll get us a running back. We'll get us a wide receiver in the second and get us a running back in the third. But again, man, we just got to understand we're not going to hit 12 again. Not if everything, if everything goes right. We're not going to see 12 again. You're not going to be able to get the opportunity to get a player of that caliber without some kind of trade in the future. So if you know you can't get better than this, hey, man, best player available. Don't get me wrong, guys. Trading back, I love it too. I mean, if you can trade back and you can get a Mecca or you can get Burden and still get Travion Henderson and Juckins, and then you get your cornerback in the 3rd round, then you go in the 5th round, you get your defensive tackle. If you want to get another offensive lineman, you want to get you a safety. If you want to do all those things in the back end, get you a second running back. But the Cowboys have to hit in rounds 1 and 2. I would prefer them to hit in rounds 1 and 2, wide receiver 1, running back 2, and then in the 3rd round, you go cornerback. But they got to hit in 1 and 2. If the Cowboys hit in 1 and 2, I think everything falls into place. D-Block said, that's my point exactly, G. He said, that's why I don't want to hear that crap from Jerry. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Katharina, me as well, G. Yeah. Ty Church, G, they try out another guard. And Ty Church, you know what? As much as I would hate it, if that's the best player available, you're not going to get that high again. Maybe you can't get that caliber of an offensive lineman again. If you think that's the best player, I don't have a choice. I'm going to have to trust the process. I'm just going to have to trust the process. But what I'm hoping and praying is that Ted McMillan is there or Ashton Genty is there. Because, I boil this down to, you think about it, sometimes, you think about it. For example, me, for example, I've been looking at some shoes. I'm looking at these shoes. All 4 pairs of these shoes, let's say they're black. So I'm looking for a new pair of black shoes. And in these black shoes, I'm looking at, do I want 100% leather, or do I want crocodile? Do I want elephant, or do I want lizard? Those are the 4 shoes I'm looking at. And it's amazing how we'll overburden ourselves sometimes with, which shoe would be best, which shoe would be best. But if you just think about all the shoes that I said, it just comes down to preference. Because all 4 of them are going to be good. All 4 of those shoes are going to be good. If I just get a straight leather, black leather pair of shoes with leather bottoms, they're still going to be great. They'll still look classy. If I get those alligators, they're going to really look classy. But they're still going to look good. The lizards may not look quite as good as the alligator, but they're still going to look good. They're going to look classy. They're still going to look good. And if I decide to go, if I go with ostrich print, if I go with ostrich, they are still going to look good. All 4 of those shoes are going to be high quality. And sometimes, man, we just overburden ourselves with stuff like, Burden, Emeka, Ted, Golden. And we got reasons why we want each one of them. But the reason why I'm excited, all 4 of them are good. All 4 of them are good. I think both of them come in here and be bona fide 2s. But I'm going to tell y'all something. We're going to talk about this tonight. Let me tell y'all something. Do not count out Jonathan Mingo. I'm just telling us. Don't count out Jonathan Mingo. We don't know what Jonathan Mingo is. Cowboys got high hopes on Jonathan Mingo. Do not discount how good Mingo may be with Dak Prescott. Mingo may blow our minds when we see him with Dak Prescott. Because I can tell you this, Dak Prescott's going to give him every opportunity. Dak Prescott is going to give him every opportunity. You watch what I tell you. This new wide receiving core with Dak Prescott, man, we may be absolutely shocked what this thing looks like. And we may really see what the Cowboys, I do think they're going to get a wide receiver in the first round. But again, I think they got high hopes on Mingo. I do. I think they got high hopes on Mingo. But again, D-Block, hey, man, you're not going to get 12 again. You're not. So whoever the best player available is, because that player, you're saying that dude coming in and starting. That dude is coming in and starting. But again, if you look at what the Cowboys have done, I believe also, though, the Cowboys think they have their line. I do. I think the only part of the Cowboys line that they feel is in question is the right side. I think they think their left side is solidified. Ty Smith, Guyton, I think they feel like they got the left side of the line. I do. I think their only question is the right side of the line. I think that's the only thing they have in question. I do. Let me look back over here at their let's see here. If you look at the Cowboys, their left side of the line, I think the Cowboys think they're set. I do. Tyler Guyton, the tackle. They're rolling with that. Tyler Smith, the left guard. I think they're rolling with that. Cooper Beebe at center. They're probably rolling with that. The questions on this line is going to be, and this may be where if they go in the draft in the first round and they get Kelvin Banks Jr., because I think that's the guy that some of us have been talking about, it's boiling down to Hoffman and Terrence Steele. But this side over here, I think they believe they're set. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I think they believe they're set. I don't think they're worried about the left side. I think it's the right side. And you got Robert Jones in here. We're going to see how he battles. Where does he battle? Where does he fit in? I got a feeling Will Hernandez is going to make his way into camp for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to he's going to fight for that right side of that line. But again, I think they believe the left side is done. I think they're, and I don't even think as good as Awesome Richards is. I don't even think they're considering Tyler Guyton and Awesome Richards being in a battle. The Cowboys have invested a huge draft pick in Tyler Guyton. And so if Awesome Richards beats out Tyler Guyton, guess what Tyler Guyton moves to? I bet you it's not the bench. I bet you it's not the bench. If Awesome Richards beat out Tyler Guyton is going to move right over here to probably the right tackle. He'll move over to right tackle because, if I'm not mistaken, that's where he was playing in college. I would not be surprised if Awesome can beat him out. He'll move over to right tackle. And then it'll be the battle of Brock Hoffman. It'll be the battle of Brock Hoffman, Will Hernandez if they bring him in, and then we'll see what happens if they bring in a guy like Kelvin Banks Jr. But again, I'm telling y'all, book it. Book it. The Cowboys feel like they have their line pretty much intact. They do. I believe they think they have their line intact. And when you think about these young guys, we just heard Tyron Smith. He endorsed Ty Smith. Steven is sold. These guys are sold on Tyler Guyton. We all know Cooper Beebe turned out great. Cooper Beebe, A1. A1. Cooper Beebe is A1. And people been talking about maybe moving him and switching Brock Hoffman. No, why? Why do that? Beebe already played excellent. Why do you want to move him? No, Brock Hoffman is an absolute dog. Let him battle it out with TJ Bass. Bring in Will Hernandez. Let him battle it out. And then with Robert Jones, okay, let's see what he do. Who can he beat out on this line? I do believe the Cowboys think they have the left side of their line, though, solidified. So if the best player available is Kelvin Banks Jr., hey, bring him in. That's kind of where I am on the whole situation. Because at number 12, man, you got to bring in a player that's going to absolutely start. You can't be playing around. He got to absolutely start. You Robert Dudley, I remember him. He was a brainiac. Yeah, he got out while I guess he got out while his brain was still good too. D Webb, you already know where I am for sure. Them Ohio State boys, they are primed and ready for the big stage. Ohio State is a wide receiver, running back machine. They are a factory for those two positions. Rico Jones, he said, I'm just glad we don't have to listen to that ESPN and all that Fugazi content no more. Yes, sir. New media, the true media. Yes, sir. I absolutely agree with you, Rico Jones. Intelligent Savage, he said, full facts. He said the Dallas Cowboys were blessed with an undrafted Tony Romo quarterback and a quarterback and a fourth-round quarterback, Dak Prescott. He said, I, for one, acknowledge the blessings we have had a quarterback over this period of time. Yes, sir. Both of them have been good. Both of them have been good, man. They have. The dude say, I say best player available according to your biggest need. I agree with that too. Now, again, the dude, this is all predicated upon if I just think we can just knock Genty out. Genty's not going to be there. The question is, will Ted McMillan be there? And then the other question is, and we're going to talk about this tonight some too, the other question is, do we feel like Matthew Golden is 12 worthy? Would Burden be 12 worthy? Would Emeka be 12 worthy? Because if you look at the projections, that you'll probably be able to get them at the back of the first or at the top of the second when it comes to Emeka and Burden. And I think Golden is going to be the same way. Unless somebody like Denver wants to get him or whatever the case may be. But the Cowboys will be able to get one of those guys in the second round if they want to. So if that's the case, then you probably do want to look at a Pittsburgh Steelers and say, hey, maybe we trade back. Maybe you do want to look at a Seattle Seahawks who have quite a few picks and say we want to trade back. Maybe you do that. So we'll talk about those things and more tonight. But again, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got to get out of here. But I just thought that Tyron Smith was something that we all would want to hear. Absolutely great. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Boy, the comments, boy, y'all gotta be, boy, y'all one of the greatest chat sections in the game, boy. Y'all had me rolling. Moses said, I think we should try to move up to the Patriot spot to get Genty. I think he's that good. Hey, let me tell you something, Moses 3212. If the Cowboys think he's that good, a lot of people say don't trade up. Well, if you think he's that good, then go get him. Go get him. Ice Wall Cowboy, he said you can't go wrong with PBA. It's a no-brainer. I say go get him if that's the case. Ice Cold Cowboy, I want a playmaker. Me too. First round, same thing. Ty Church, he said agreed. Team weapon. I say go get him. If you feel like he all that, trade up. Ty Church said I meant they work out. I meant they work out a vet guard today. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think the Cowboys may make one or two more moves before this draft come around, Ty Church. They're already been kind of they've already been hinting at it. So we may see one or two more moves before this thing is gone. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm about to get out of here, but hey man, I think we're gonna do Cowboys After Dark tonight. So for all y'all late owls, get your coffee pots ready. I think we're gonna get it rolling tonight. Until next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.